What's good, everybody? This is Deontay Murray here with another video. Um, Today, I just want to show you guys a little bit of how I backtest US30. A lot of trades that I'm going to discuss, and also talk about what I look for when it comes to just trading US30 overall. I'm going to share a lot of secrets with you guys today. So all the secrets will be shared, everything that I look for, what my mindset is when it comes to just waking up in the morning. Um, and I have a lot of people who have discussed or write me on Telegram about the odd 50 strategy, telling me how great it is and how it's benefiting them. Usually with the odd 50s, it would usually be these three numbers before the decimal. And it'll be odd number, then it'd be 50. So it'd be 550, usually it'd be 750. But today we're going to discuss a little bit different. If you haven't seen a video, go back and look at it. It's very helpful. But today I'm going to show you guys a little bit of something different when it comes to just overall direction. What I've seen is that these flat numbers, odd flat numbers, so odd 00, 500, 900 is more helpful when it comes to sense of overall direction on US30. So so a lot of people have been hitting me up about it. A lot of people are benefiting from it. A lot of people are passing challenges. I have this past week been on calls where I do charge only a small fee of $250 just to get paid for my time I've been on. So every time I usually do a call, we on there for 3 to 4 hours. They get free access to me. We speak daily about charts. They screenshot it, send me all their thoughts when they're looking for setup. So I do charge a small fee for that, only for my time. Discuss charts all day. I usually give, about 10 to 12 people write me each day on Telegram. So I am spending a lot of time trying to help others. So if you do want, some assists, or, wanted to talk trades or talk setups, or, just talk about passing challenges, I do help. So just hit my Telegram. That's going to be down in the description below. So let's get started. So US30. Some secrets that I wanted to share with you guys is that, like I said, overall direction when it comes to just using these odd flat numbers, odd 007, 700, 900, 100, 300, then go back to 500. So these, what I've seen is that these helps with overall direction. Another secret is that US30 likes to push for at least 40,000 pips a day. So from here to here is 40,000 pips. And usually a reversal happen after that 40,000 pips. It retraces, push all the way down. And sometimes I don't count Asian session. The reason I ignore it, I try to go during the time of London, which is here around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. You see it says 8 at the bottom, usually. So from here, this blue line to this blue line is 20,000 pips. From that top blue line all the way down to here is 40,000 pips. So this current day for the day, take a trade here, 40,000 pips. It pushed for 40,000 pips. Yes, it came back and retraced, but usually after 40,000 pips, a huge reversal usually happen. I can zoom out a little bit and we can see some more of it happening right here. Push, boom, all the way up to 40,000 pips. Over here, you see it breaks. It usually push 40,000 pips every single day. Here, 40,000 pips. This one even pushed for 60,000 pips. So yeah, those are just secrets. After 40,000 pips, I'm usually looking for a reversal. It helps when it comes to just my game plan. Just having that knowledge helps out a lot. So yeah, let's get started. So I've been having a lot of people on my Telegram ask me questions about when do I trade. I trade US30 during the time of 7 a.m. Eastern time. 7 a.m. Eastern time. I am on the charts looking for a trade. I like to take trades during the time of 8 a.m. Eastern time, which is 1500 on my chart. So 7 a.m. is 1400 on my charts. I like to be on the charts. 8 a.m. is 1500 on my charts. Those are the times I like to take trades on US30. Why? Because US30 is a stock filled with what 30 the top 30 companies here in United States or America and here USA. Uh so basically the volatility doesn't start until New York session. To be trying to trade it during Asian, yes, you're gonna see a lot of back and forth. You're gonna see it slower. I want to catch bigger moves on US30 to make a bigger amount of profit. So I only want to trade during New York session, which is the start of 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9:30. Everybody know how crazy US30 goes at 9:30. So I am only trading during the time of 7 a.m. on the charts, which is 1400. Today I'm going to be trying to put this horizontal, this vertical line on 1300, just so you can see, just so we can see what 7 o'clock does, right? Like I said, I like to trade mainly at the time of uh 8 a.m., which is 1500, this candlestick here. I'm really looking to take a trade. Sometimes I will let 7 play out. When 8 o'clock come around, I'm really looking to take a trade. So let's get started. So my mindset when I wake up at 7 a.m. and I'm getting on the chart, which is here, I like to see where are we at when it comes to just 11 moving average. I usually go to the H1, which I'm on H1. I like to see where are we when it comes to this 11 moving average. Let me click on it because I've been having people saying this is simple. So it's a simple moving average. It's closed, simple period, 11. That's all it is. So I say, where are we when it comes to 11 moving average? We are floating above. So I'll put an arrow saying that we're floating above this 11 moving average. Since we are above this 11 moving average, since we are above this 11 moving average, my mindset is already looking to take a buy. My mindset is looking to take a buy. Where do I want to take buys? I want to take buys at these odd flat numbers. So my mindset, hold on, bear with me. I'm trying to change the screen. So my mindset is take this buy from 700, right? Because we're floating above this. We're floating above this 11 moving average. I'm already looking that it's going to retest. My mindset is that it is usually going to retest this 11 moving average. But my mindset is already, when it comes to just using these odd flat numbers, I want this trade. I want this $20,000. This 20, depending on what lot size you're using. I want this trade for 20,000 pips from 700 to 900. Why? Because we're floating above the 11 moving average. I want this trade. Could we have took the trade here from the push off of the 11 moving average? Yes, this would have been even better, more pips. But overall, my mindset is looking to buy. Why? Because we're above the 11 moving average. We're getting a pullback, especially if I had waited until what 8 o'clock, because 7 o'clock it pushed off. 8 o'clock, it pushed off the 11 moving average. So my trade would have been honestly from here to there. Let's see how many pips was this. From here to there for 25,000 pips. For myself, I probably would have used a 0.5, but today let's talk about using a 0.25. That's another thing. Let's use a 0.25 for all of our entries. So we would have been using a 0.25. The reward goes for 25,000 pips, which is great money. Only reason I like to use a 0.25 now when I'm explaining it, because it helps traders who I'm teaching how to not risk too much money, but also have a good reward. When you're using a 0.25 on US30 and you're trading from level to level, that reward is $5,000. What I've been teaching everybody else is that, so from here to there is, I'm writing it out because I've been having a lot of people ask me. So this from using a 0.25 is $5,000. I'm gonna write it out. The reward is $5,000. So this green is $5,000. Now the risk that I've been having them do is putting a stop loss. You need a good stop loss is 5,000 pips. You have to have a minimal of 4,000 to 5,000 pips. So when it comes to stop loss using a 0.25, you need to have at least 5,000 pips. If you do the math, let me put it at 5. If you do the math, let's do the math. So take 0.25 times 5,000. It puts you at $1,250. What I like to tell them is just put it at 6, because I like more of a flat numbers. I like flat numbers as well. So you can put it at 6, which is even better, right? When you put your stop loss at 6,000 pips, the 6,000 pip stop loss is great. So let's take a 0.25 times 6,000. That puts you at 1,500. So let me put that in there. So now I am risking 1,500 to make 5,000, which is a little bit more than a 1 or 2. So sometimes you get a 1 or 3, but that's just a little bit. That's like what, a 1 or 2.5, whatever. But that's good. That's good money to make $5,000 a day. There's 6,000 pip stop loss. See, it says 6. Right now it says 638. That's a good amount of space for the market to move without worrying about it touching, right? 6,000 pips, 5,000 pips, or 6,000 pips is a great amount. Reward goes for 20,000 pips, which if you're using a 0.5, it will give you $5,000. You can do this every single day and make a lot of money, right? And it's consistency. A lot of people looking to make millions. Yes, it'll come later, but you just have to grow your account. The more you grow your account, now you can start adding more lot sizes to where you're risking now $2,500 to make $10,000, right? So these numbers will just double. So let's lock in on a 0.25 for the day, risking 6,000 pips. Reward goes for 20,000. So here, let's try it out. So let's not try that. We just talked about it. So it'll be from here. If we would have took it out the 11 moving average, it would have been great. Reward went for 25,000 pips. So let's take a 0.25 times 2. Let's just use 26.25 times 26,000. That's 6,500 that we just made today. Boom, great money. Let's look at this one the day before. Let's get this out the way. Let's look at the day before. So the day before, right? 1,300. We are what? Floating up under the 11 moving average. Let me put this on 15 for 7 o'clock, because I try not to trade at 7 o'clock. I really like this 15, this 8 o'clock. So 8 o'clock came, right? What are we doing? Have we pushed for the 40,000 pips? No. Remember, I don't count Asian. The 40,000 pips will be down here. So we also are up under the 11 moving average. We're kind of far from it. So I want to see some type of pullback. How I would have had drawn my fib, I like to do when I draw my fib is put it from one level to one level. And most of the times the Fibonacci, most of the time the market will come back to this 38. So once it start to pull back, once this 8 o'clock start to pull back inside of here, everything is telling me to sell. Nothing is telling me to buy, right? Think about this. Remember, I said the market likes to push for 40,000 pips. What's the chances of it, even during the time of 7 o'clock? What's the chances of this after 7 o'clock closes up under 750? I mean, it closes up under 700. What's the chances of this pushing for 40,000 pips all the way back here? You ain't gonna really see that. I would say since we're up under this 11 moving average, we haven't truly pushed for the 40,000 pips, right? I would say that we're going to just continue. Yes, you might get a pullback, but my overall trade will want to be from here to there, right? So overall, since we are up under the 11 moving average, and change the color. Since we're up under the 11 moving average, and we haven't pushed for the 40,000 pips, I'm looking to take a sell. Now I just have to worry about a good entry. I know we just closed up under 7 o'clock. 7,000. Not, 700. Sorry about this. We just closed up under 700 during the time of 7 o'clock, right? So look, it says 1400, which is 7 o'clock. I know that we have to get some type of pullback. So yes, it could have pulled back to 700, but I see structure. And also when you turn on the line chart, just look at structure. We just broke up under here. So if anything, I know we have to come back and retest it, right? So when it came back to retest, my trade could have been somewhere inside of here. Boom. Now I am selling the market. We also could have tried to get it as close as possible to the 11 moving average. Sell. TP go for next level, 500, right? Boom. That's the winning trade. Stop loss, if we would have took this trade inside this green. Stop loss go where? 6,000 pips, which wasn't hit. See what I'm saying? Mark it up for you guys. Pre-mark this chart up because I was trying to make it a quick one, but it looked like it's going to be kind of a long video. So 6,000 pips wasn't hit. Great trade. Boom. That's my mindset. Where are we up on it when 7 o'clock comes and closes? Where are we? We're up under the 11 moving average. Have we pushed for 40,000 pips? I don't really count Asian. So during the time of London, we pushed from here to there. That's only 20,000. So I have my mindset that we can continue to push for that 40,000, but we need to see some pullback once I've seen 7 o'clock close up under 700. We have to get a pullback. All I do is draw the Fibonacci. Boom. Now I'm looking for it to truly get back to the 38 inside this 38 to 23. This 23, we already know if it hits 23 is just a continuation of trend. So boom, could have took a trade anywhere inside of there. Why? Because we have a good space for our stop loss going 6,000 pips. Going back to our risk to reward. So we're risking $1,500 to make 5,000. And this one, we made a little bit more than 5,000. Use that 0.25. So 0.25 times, let's just say 20.25 times 24,000 puts you at $6,000. So that's a good winning trade. Let's look at the day before. Now I'm gonna just try to run through some of these and show you my mindset when it comes to trading. This was heavy news. There are also going to be a lot of heavy news. When the heavy news comes, I try to stay away from it. See, it's a whole lot of consolidation. We didn't get that full 40,000 pips push, right? It just stayed in between those two, and it kept going back and forth. Let me delete it. So I don't even. Sometimes you can go to different websites and see what I'm pretty sure everybody know the fundamental side of trading. Go to different websites and see what's going to happen for USD today. So let's go back to the day before. Day before, where are we at? So I don't trade until 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock, where are we? Did we hit the 700 at 7 o'clock? No. Matter of fact, let's stick to the rules. 7 o'clock comes, right? Boom. Have we pushed for 40,000 pips? No, I don't count Asian. So London, we push from here to here for 20,000 pips. So my mindset is that we have to basically get all the way up to here, right? That's my mindset. Does it have to? No, but that's my mindset. Where are we when it comes to the 11 AMA? We are floating what? Above it, right? Floating above it. So now I'm looking for a pullback, to the 11, right? This is 8 o'clock, which is like when I like to trade. I had so nothing. So you would have like, okay, why you didn't take a sell here? Did we hit the 700 during the time of 7 o'clock? No. We also, why would we want to take a sell going against this uptrending market, right? Don't get me wrong, this was a good sell over here, but right now during the time of 7 o'clock, we are floating above the 11 moving average. We haven't pushed for our true 40,000 pips. So when 8 o'clock, which is 1500, when we pull back to this 11, everything is telling me to take this buy, right? Take a buy. TP could have went for 20,000 because we only looking to catch 20,000 pips, right? So from right there, we could have been getting out, or you could have held it to the next key area, which is the 700 area. I mean, it's 900 area, right? So trade could have been from here. We risking how many pips? 6,000. Risk 6,000 pips, which is only 1,500 that we're risking to make what? Reward is going, let's see how many pips is this? 35,000 pips. So let's do the math. I'm just showing you 0.25 times 35,000 puts us at $8,750. Risking how much? We risking $1,500 when the stop loss go 60 pips. This is how back testing. This is how I trade, right? This is not how I trade. I mean, it's how I trade, but that's not when it comes to just lots. But this is going to help a lot of people when it comes to just overall trading US30. We're above the 11 moving average. We haven't truly pushed for the 40,000 pips yet. We only pushed for 20. So 40,000, that's a key area up there that I want to get to. US30, this is just a secret. It likes to push for 40,000 pips. Boom, could have took it. What I usually say after 40,000 pips is hit, a reversal has happened. So you could have messed around and took a sell up here as well. At least back to 700, and look how far it pushed all the way back down here. So let's just ignore it because we're looking to take trades during the time of 7 and 8. 7 and 8 came, we above the 11 moving average. Take the buy, boom, hold it for the next key area. Right. This day right here, it was just a lot of consolidation going on. 7 o'clock came right here. Boom. So we above the 11 moving average. Probably would have took a buy. This would have been a losing trade. But on higher time frames, this highlighted area is a key area on higher time frames. So when it did go inside of here and then start to push back down, we overall, if I was paying attention, I'm not going to say I always pay attention, but if I was paying attention, I probably would have not been looking to take a buy during the time of 7 or 8, right? So let's just skip that one for now. That probably would have been a losing trade. I ain't gonna lie to you. All right, so this one, right? Boom. What do we see? What do we see? What do we see? 7 o'clock come around. Where are we at when it comes to 11 moving average? We are above the 11 moving average. 1400. We are above the moving average. We are also playing around what level? 900 level. During the time of Asian, we don't pay attention. So when the time of London, which is this 8 o'clock, you see it says 8 at the bottom, which is like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. We haven't truly pushed. We just been floating in between from this 900 range. So we haven't truly pushed for that 40,000 pips that we're looking for. So if we're floating above the 11 moving average and London didn't do nothing but basically float around this 900, my mindset is already to buy especially when it retests this 11 11 moving average. Right, my TP could have been from here all the way up here for 40,000 pips because I'm looking for it to push for 40,000 pips, right? That's why I exploded so much because US30 like to push for 40,000 pips every day, right? Boom, during the times of Asian, during the time of London, has to at least push for 20. London didn't even push for 20. It just been floating around this 900 level. So during New York, which is which is 7, 8, then 9, I'm already looking to take a buy, right? So that's the winning day. Stop loss go where? 6,000 pips. It's close enough. Risking $1,500 to gain 40,000 pips. That's a great trade. Let's look at this one. Let's look at this one. This is 7 o'clock right here. What do we see during the 7 o'clock? Boom. We see that it has pushed for 40,000 pips, right? This is Asian session, just floating around. Then London came all the way down. London has pushed almost for 40,000 pips already, right? So my mindset is looking to sell. It has, once it pushed for 40,000 pips, it's going to go back and retrace, right? So I could have took this trade during 7 o'clock, right? Even though we're above, this one you have to pay attention and just sometimes just knowing where you at. Yes, we're above the 11 moving average, but we have already pushed for the 40,000 pips. This is a big move. It might not look like big moves in a candlestick, but this is 40,000 pips that has already been moved. The chances of it pushing for 60,000 pips straight, that means news had to have happened. It's not going to really push for 60,000 pips straight, especially during the time of London. London is not going to continue to push for 60,000 pips without retracing or retesting or going back to retest another level. So my mindset is already to look to sell, right? So I could have sold right here. Reason I have this box here, I could have sold right here during the time of 7 o'clock, or I could have waited. 8 o'clock didn't touch it again. 9 o'clock came back, so I could have took the sell at the 700. Stop loss goes for 6,000 pips. Came back to 700. Some stop could have took a sell somewhere inside of here, or even if you had took it at the 700 level, it doesn't matter. That 6,000 pips is a great amount of stop loss. It's a great stop loss area. So the trade could have been from here back to 500, right? I probably would have been looking to take it back to 500. Why? Because this 11 moving average, yes, we're floating above it, but we haven't truly retested it. You see, we broke above it here. We haven't even retested this 500 level, broke above 500 level and didn't retest. It didn't give us a wick to touch this 500 level. We broke above this 11 moving average. This next candlestick didn't retest it. So if anything, my TP would have been from 700 down to 500, right? 700 to 500. That's that $5,000 that we looking to make if we using a 0.25. That's a good trade. This is my mindset that I'm using every single day. I want you guys to see it every single day. All it did was go back to this 66 moving average. This red is the 66, or no, that's the 83. It's supposed to be 66. Let's make it 66. 83 is just, I don't even know. It's just some stuff that I just seen. So I've been back testing it. It does work a little bit. I seen someone talk about it the other day. One of my students that I had got on call with last week was just talking about the 83 as well. But 83 is more of what I've seen is more of like M5, M1. You can try it if you want to go back and back test. I use 66, so I'm gonna stick with 66. Let's look at this one. Let's look at this one. 1,500, 1,400. Where are we? We are up under the 11 moving average. we have, I would count this one because it pushed for 40,000 pips, right? So if anything, I don't see, so when this moving, so like I say, the market really isn't going to push for 60,000 pips without retesting. So when the time of 7 o'clock came, right? Even though this is Asian, this is Asian. London didn't start until right here, which means it only pushed for 20,000 pips. But since we had a lot of momentum during Asian, usually Asian doesn't push this much, right? That's a lot of momentum during the time of Asian. Since we pushed for more than 20,000 pips, we actually pushed for 40 plus because it started up here. But I really want to lock in just on these 40,000. So if my mindset is that, okay, we already pushed for the 40,000, we might be getting a reversal back at this 100 level. We're in the middle. 7 o'clock hit the 11 moving average. We're floating around the 66 moving average as well on H1. So when 8 o'clock came back around, I'm looking to take this trade from here to there, right? I want to see we broke back above the 100 level. We haven't retested it with this candlestick right here. We broke it back above, but we didn't retest it. So I'm looking for some type of pullback. We've been going just straight up. 7 o'clock is now starting to give us a hammer or whatever you want to call it. I don't really lock in on candlesticks, but it's starting to show us that pressure was going to come back and retest the level. So I want to see that when it did come back and retest it, take the buy level to level, 20,000 pips. Could have held it for more than 20,000 pips. Could have held it for 40,000 pips. Only risking, let's see, I'm gonna put this at 6,000 because we're using a 0.25, which is as good risk to reward. You can make $5,000 every day, or more than $4,000 every day. That's a good trade. Let's look at this one. Where are we? 7 o'clock closed up under 11. Have we moved for 40,000 pips yet? London started like right here. London tried to push for 20,000, but it hasn't. It's coming back to what? Retest this 300 level. We had a big move during that 3 a.m. when it says 10 o'clock on my charts at the bottom. This is that 3 a.m. big move during London. Pushed above, hasn't retested, right? So 7 o'clock came back down to retest. I'm already saying, okay, we haven't pushed for the 40,000 pips. So my mindset right now is to push from here to there at least. TP goes for 500. Stop loss goes for 6,000. Why though? It's because we broke through 300. We haven't retested 300. Another confirmation is that during the time of London, have we pushed for 20? Have we pushed for 40,000 pips or 20,000 pips? We haven't even pushed for 20. It went down and then it came back up here and then now it's coming back down. So my mindset could have said, okay, we're looking to reach this level up here. But sometimes you don't have to always be greedy and try to look for 40,000 pips because sometimes it doesn't always happen. It pushed for almost 35, but we just want to take a little bit off the table. So when 7 o'clock came back to retest 300, I'm taking it straight here, risking 6,000 pips. We were go to next level using a 0.25. We're risking $1,500 to make 5,000. That's a great trade. Let's look at this one. This one before. During the time of Asian, we had kind of a big move, but not really. During the time of London, London starts at 8 o'clock. It went for one level, right? Pushed for one level. It hasn't pushed for the 40,000 pips yet. So my mindset when it comes to just 40,000 on US30, I'm looking to go from here all the way up to there, right? So what else we see? What else do we see when it comes to just the 7 o'clock candlestick in the morning? We are above the 11 moving average, right? 7 o'clock came, we above the 11 moving average. 8 o'clock was here. I'm looking for a retest. We also floating above, so I'm looking for a retest back to here. My TP would go here. Did it hit it this day? No. Like I say, sometimes you can put your TP for just 20,000 pips if that's what you're looking for, right? Boom. Or you can put it there because eventually it's going to get there. It pushes from level to level. Boom. Could have took the trade there. Would this one have been a little bit confusing? Yes. And honestly, a lot of you guys probably would have lost this trade because you probably would have been trying to look to take the buy from here. I just want to teach you guys a line chart. Line chart is very helpful because look, when this 7 o'clock close, right? Did we break through structure? We broke through a key area, right? Turn on the line chart sometimes. This bullish candlesticks broke through this higher high, right? This is the higher high. If you cut on the line chart, this is the higher high. This area is a higher high. Higher low is higher high, higher low. Higher high, higher low. 7 o'clock broke through the higher high. So a lot of people were like, okay, I would have took the trade here, took the buy. Why? It broke above the 11, the 100 level as well. We have to see a pullback at least back to structure, right? So my buy entry would have had been right here, right? So people were like, okay, I would have took the buy here. No, wait for it to pull back. Buy go there. Stop loss go 6,000 pips. This is just work. This is just understanding structure and markets. So you could have, you could have waited on it to go back to the 11 MA, but nobody truly knows. So, but you still want to get a good entry on a pullback. You don't want to just continue to flow with the market. It's never going to just continue to go without retesting. So stop loss go 8,000 pips. See what I'm saying? You have to wait. You have to wait on a good amount pullback. It broke with a lot of bullish pressure during the time of 7. Let 7 o'clock sometimes play out. Or if you're already on the charts, if you see we floating up, you should already know that we going from here to there anyway. So during the time of this 7 o'clock candle, you could have been looking for a buy. Why take a sell during the time of this 7 o'clock candle? Your mindset should have been to buy anywhere. So next key area would have been here. I'm looking to buy once it start to break here. So you could have went on smaller time frames to take the buy from here, right? Or you could have been patient and let the 7 o'clock play it out and wait on this pullback, take the pullback, take the buy here. Yes, you would have been a drawdown for 4,000 pips. But our stop loss is at 6,000 pips, which is great. TP go where? Next level. Or like I said, you could have tried to get the 20,000 pips. Could have been somewhere up here, but I'm gonna put it at next level. Color back again. Boom. This is all I'm saying is nothing is telling us to sell, right? Once you can figure out this overall bias, nothing is telling you to sell. These levels right here is more powerful. Yes, it might not go exactly to it, but I know something is going to happen around those areas. It helps with overall bias when it comes to just using and understanding that US30 has to push for 40,000 pips. Majority of every single day, it pushes for 40,000 pips. So if my mindset is that, and the time of 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock come around, and we only push for, 20,000 pips, I know we might continue to go up, right? So I'm looking to take buys. During the time of 7 o'clock, we broke above the 100 flat number. Looking at structure on the line charts, we broke above this last bearish candlestick. We broke through it with power. So I'm looking for a pullback to here, at least use that 0.25, and now I'm riding it to the next level, right? Here, this is sloppy. I think this is 1 news. I can't look at all these wicks compared to whatever everything we've been seeing. This is sloppy as well. We are floating above the 11 moving average. Overall, we are in a downtrend anyway. Let me see. Overall, we had, yeah, look at this big day the day before. We had bearish momentum, right? Bearish momentum the day before. This is just understanding structure. Bearish momentum the day before. Why would I be looking to take a buy trying to get 40,000 pips when we had a strong, look how many pips it fell. Market fell for over 100,000 pips the day before. My mindset is to take a sell for the next day. If you go to the daily chart, this was a long red candlestick on a daily chart. Why would I be thinking that the next candlestick is going to go green? So overall, I should be looking for this one to go what? I'm looking for this one to go what? Red as well, or looking for some of this bearish momentum to continue. So during the time of 7 o'clock, right? We've been just playing around, this range up here. You could have had, drill out some structure key areas. You see we have rejection at the same area. We also had another rejection here. We just been playing around there. Another thing you could have done is just pull out the Fibonacci. Have we even pushed for the 40,000 pips? During the time of London was to start right here. London was to start right here. We haven't even pushed for the 40,000 pips. Even with Asian, even if you include Asian, we haven't even pushed for 40,000 pips, right? But why would we be looking for a 40,000 pip move all the way back up to here when we have bearish momentum? So if anything, I'm looking for it to push all the way down here for 40,000 pips. But I can use the Fibonacci because I want this is just understanding the candlesticks, yo. The day before, it gave us a lot of bearish momentum. So my mindset is to sell. We also are up under the 66 moving average. I don't think for it to push for 40,000 pips, it would have to be some strong bullish trend to push for 40,000 pips from here to here, right? Breaking a 66. I don't see that happening, right? So when 7 o'clock came around, where is it? 7 o'clock right here came around. I draw the fib. I draw my fib from top down because I'm looking for it to retrace back to really inside this 50 to 61.8, which is inside of here. 7 o'clock went inside of there. 8 o'clock, where did 8 o'clock go? To the 50 right here, this area right here. I'm looking to take the sell. Boom. Could have got these pips right here. But what do we know? Let me delete this fib real quick. What do we know? We know that we haven't pushed for 40,000 pips yet, right? So I know that we can basically get this. We could possibly look. I'm not saying being greedy. Don't be greedy. But we know that it's got to push for at least 40,000 pips. Boom, you could have caught all this. The entry would have sucked if you had waited for 100 to get touched. That would have sucked. Try to get in during the times of these pullbacks. Just it'll come. Just keep practicing it. It'll come. We had bearish momentum the day before. We haven't pushed 40,000 pips here. We just been consolidating, floating around. Turn on the line chart. We have some rejection going on here, rejection there, rejection here. So when it's pulled back, when the 7 o'clock pulled back, any entry inside of here would have been great. Stop loss is out the way. Stop loss is out the way for 6,000 pips. Right? We only trade during this time. Stop loss is out the way during 6,000 pips. See what I'm saying? That's a winning trade. especially when you use the Fibonacci as well. You only want to get in when it retests to the 61, 50, or sometimes 38, depending on what the market is showing us during the 38. So stop loss could have been there. Got in, and honestly, I wouldn't have been looking to catch 40,000 pips. I would have probably had it here for 27,000 pips, which is great. I could just keep going on and going on, man, but I'm gonna slow it down. I don't want to be on here all day. Let's look at this one real quick, because this one's a clean setup. This is let's see, what day is this? June 15th. London started at 8. Boom, have we pushed for 40,000 pips? No. We just been consolidating around this 500 level. We are what, floating above this 11 moving average. You can do this all day, yo. It's gonna help you make money. Boom. We are above the 11 moving average. So my mindset, I'm looking to take a trade, push off this 11 back to here. We haven't pushed for 40,000 pips. We are above the 11 moving average. Even during the time of London, we pushed above 500 right here. Haven't truly retested it. Now we starting to retest it on this candlestick, and this candlestick. The stop loss for what, 6,000 pips, which is somewhere right there. It didn't get touched. Didn't get touched. So it's a winning trade. $6,000 made $5,000 a day. Look, it's happening over and over. What are we doing right here? London, what do we do? London, we pushed all the way down. Almost came close to 40,000, but it didn't get quite there, right? But we broke up under 700. We are what? Up under the 11 moving average. So when the time of 7 o'clock came back, or 7 o'clock, we were still up under moving average. We had bears. We have to see what a pullback happened, right, to the 11 moving average. When that pullback happened, we could have took the trade. Could have took the trade at the 700, or you could have took it slightly above. Boom. Stop loss would have been even better. But we looking to catch this trade from there to probably here. Yes, you could have caught it all the way back down here for 40,000 pips, since we were pushing strongly, especially if I see something like this pushing strongly off that moving average. Could have held it from here to there, which is great. Even if you had took this trade, just, here for myself, I like to be patient, or I like to use this fib. I'm not gonna lie to you, I like to use this fib because I want to see it push to some of these key areas. Like I say, this continuation. 23 is a continuation, especially if it push all the way down there. It's gonna come back to this 23 and continue to push. So my entry point would have been up here, honestly. My entry would have been something like this, instead of just taking it at that 700. Could you have just took it at the 700? Yes, I just showed you. Stop loss for 6,000 pips. Still didn't get touched. It came close, but it still didn't get touched. So that's a great trade. Here's another one. What are we doing? So during the time of London pushed for 1.5. So 1.5 is not 2, or the 20,000. It's not 40,000. So I'm looking to continue in trend. So since I'm looking to continue in trend during the time of 7 o'clock, I'm looking for it to come what back to the 11 moving average or back to back to 900. Take it from 900 to the next level. Stop loss go where? 6,000 pips, which is great. It never came to 6,000 pips at all. Boom. Didn't touch it. Went in trade. Could you have held it? Yes, you could have held it for more pips, but we not been that greedy. So yeah, man, I just want to show you guys a little bit about that strategy. It helps. All it is paying attention to the 11 moving average. Paying attention if we push for 40,000 pips during the time of the opening of London. If we haven't, we're just going to continue in trend. We've been floating around here, all back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So when the time of we are also up on an 11 moving average. So when the time of 7 o'clock come, we're looking to take a trade. Boom, push off of the 11 moving average. Since we haven't pushed for 40,000 pips, trade could have been from there to here. And you see how far it went. Boom. But we're not looking to be that greedy. Boom. 35,000 pips. Stop loss go all the way up here somewhere. Winning trade. Another one. Look, floating around, floating around, floating around. 900 area, floating around, floating around. 7 o'clock came. 7 o'clock actually hit 500. So we looking to take that sell. Boom. Could have took the sell for the 40,000 pips. We haven't got the 40,000 pips. This one was the first level it hit. What's the chance of it just pushing out of nowhere during the time of 7 o'clock? That means they would have to have pushed all the way up here. I don't see that happening. We also see this moving average going down. It's going down. It was going down the day before. The day before it was giving us downtrend structure, right? This candlestick opened right here and closed down here. It was a bearish candlestick, right? Even though I have a green, it was bearish. It was red. So my mindset is that this one is going to go red too as well. So once it did come back up here to this 100 level, I'm looking to take a sell. Right? Boom, 40,000 pips. Why? Because we haven't pushed for 40,000 pips during the time of aging in London. Easy trade. Same thing right here. Easy trade. Pull this one for, this probably would have been a losing trade. 6,000 pips was up here. Probably would have got hit. This is a losing trade. First time it really didn't work if you stay the course. Boom. Easy one. Boom. During the time of, this probably would have been a losing trade too. Yeah, this would have been a losing trade. This one hasn't. During the time of London, it got right here, it came, pushed up, came back for a retest. Probably would have been a losing trade for a lot of you guys, but I would have probably been looking to take a buy, probably somewhere down here. Boom, because all I see the 7 o'clock ending like that. It closed back above 700. Yes, it gave us a wick. It closed back above 700. It didn't hit the 11 moving average. I wouldn't have think that it was going to push for all the way down here, right? That's just all the way out the water, especially from the day before, pushing all the way down. That would have been too many pips if it just fallen without retesting. That's about 70,000 pips that it would have felt without retesting. So I would have waited on, smaller time frames to take a trade, a buy entry from there. TP would have been for, you could have honestly went for 40,000 pips, because why? During the time of London, it didn't push for 40,000 pips. It's just been floating around at 700 level, right? Boom. So we would have been looking for the 40,000 pips from here to there. Easy. Yeah. Another one, push off the 11 moving average, went in trade. Some of these just Fibonacci's you see have 38. All I did was pull the fib out. We floating down. We haven't pushed for 40,000 pips yet. So now I'm during the time of 7 o'clock. We broke up under 100 flat. So I'm looking for a pullback. I don't just take trades at the 100 flat. I'm looking for a pullback to one of my fibs, which is 38 that's up here. Sell. Especially it hit that 11 moving average. Sell, win and trade over 200,000 pips. Over and over again. I'm not going to go through all these, but yeah, these trades, 11 moving average, it's easy. We haven't pushed for the 40,000 pips yet. So I'm already looking to take it straight from there to there. 9 o'clock, 7 o'clock came. It's another structure one. We just broke above both of these. It was resistance, resistance. Broke above it during 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock, broke above both this resistance zone. Now I'm looking for a pullback. Pullback, go, right? Go. Another thing I did is draw up a fib. Another thing I did, draw the fib. Where did it go to? It broke above 300, pullback, 38, go. Buy. We're above the 11 moving average as well, so I'm looking to take a buy anyway. We haven't pushed for the 40,000 pips yet. We just been floating around in this area. So my TP would have been automatically from here to there. Would have been my TP. Stop loss would have been out the way. Don't have to worry about it. Here's another one. We haven't pushed for the 40,000 pips. We've been floating up under this 11 moving average during the time of 7 o'clock. We had some pullback. So I would have had the Fibonacci from here to there. We haven't pushed for the 40,000 pips yet. So my mindset is to get from here. Even though it pushed to 38, I would have been trying to, like I said, I don't just enter out of nowhere. Use that fib. We haven't pushed for 40,000 pips, so I know that 500 has to get touched. I want to see some pullback to this area. Did it take longer? Yes, it took longer. Boom. Win and trade 25,000 pips. Another one. At 7 o'clock, we had a big push above 500. When I see this big push above 500, also above 11 moving average, I'm looking for a pullback. Pullback came, even if I had entered right here, my stop loss would have been out the way. But it came back to 500 to retest it. Came back to 500, retest it. Boom. Have we pushed for the 40,000 pips over here? No, we haven't even touched the levels. Only level we've been playing around was 500. So you could have took it for the 40,000 pips. Boom. Easy trade. See what I'm saying? I'm gonna stop this video. I'm gonna end it, man. Like I said, if you guys need more help, just overall seeing the market, if you want to get in contact with me, reach out to me on Telegram. I do help others. Like I said, I charge a small fee of $250 to show you everything that I know, and you get free access to me for a lifetime. When it comes to just passing challenges, I do that helps. That comes with the $250 as well. I will give you, a few trades of what I'm seeing and how to take it, and just overall want to help people, but I also don't want to overbearing myself with trying to help every single body. That's why I post all this free content out on YouTube. Soak it in, practice it, continue to work on it. Another thing is that nobody in the world is going to be able to trade the same. Nobody's going to trade the same. You can trade, let me say this. ever going to view the market the same. Nobody's going to ever view the market the same. Everybody's going to have their own theory. Everybody's going to have their own style of how they want to trade. You can take some of the styles of how people trade, but you're never going to be able to trade just like someone else, right? So just keep that in mind. So you have to better your own self. You have to get better your own self. You'll never be able to trade like someone else. You can take some of their thoughts, some of the things that they see, but you'll never be able to do the same thing that they do or see it the same way that they see it. So um, continue to work on yourself, continue to get better. And with that being said, I'm gonna leave you guys and happy Friday. Hope everyone is having a great day, having a blessed day as well. Be great in this upcoming week. When it comes to trading US30, we should see some good moves. With the first week of July, it being the summertime, might see a lot of volatility. So yeah, make sure to use those proper stop losses. Don't risk too much when it comes to stop losses. Like I say, on US30, 5,000 to 6,000 pips is a great amount of room to allow it to move. You just don't want to over leverage. You want to cut your lot size down a little bit. Like I say, a 0.25 risking 6,000 pips puts you at $1,500. You could put it at 5,000 pips and put it at $1,250, or you could put it at 4,000 pip stop loss, which is kind of tight, risking only 1,000. So, uh, yeah, just mess around with it. Like I said, reach out to me if you do need help or if you want to learn more. I will for sure show you everything that I know. You get that one-on-one Zoom call. And like I said, after that, we basically become friends when it comes to trading this market. So I'm gonna let you guys go. Have fun. Enjoy this Good Friday. I'm out.